Hakadosh Boker Tov Masechet Nedarim Daf Bet Amud Aleph 22a1. The Gemara said that there was a woman that she went and she made a neder against her own daughter. So she came in front of Yochanan and he went and he told her, if you would have known, right, during the time when you made the neder that your neighbors are going to come and they're going to say, Ilu lo chamat ba'ima milinda ziva. If your mother didn't see bad things about you, Ichtilu adarta, would you have done it? Mi adarta, would you have come and done such a thing? Amrale, she told him no. I wouldn't have made Visharia, so therefore he came and he permitted it. Okay, this is where we're starting. Bar birate, third line. Okay, third line on the page. Bar birate Rabbi Saba, tal lekamed Rabbi Saba. So we're talking about now the grandson. Okay, bar birate, but it's a son of the mother. Okay, meaning it's a grandson from the daughter. Okay, of Rabbi Zaken. He came in front of Rabbi Zaken in order to do a tarat nedarim. Elmaleh, he comes and he says, Ilu hava yadat. If you would have not known that at the time of the neder, in the Shamaim, they open up the pinkas. Mamash, they open up the book, they open up, and they're going to start checking. Is it good what you're doing? Not good what you're doing? Minadarta, would you have done such a neder? Elmaleh comes and he says, Lo, no, Vesharye. And therefore he permitted it. Okay? Amar Rabbi Abba says, Rabbi Abba, Maikra'a, what's the pasuk? Ve'achar nedarim levaker. The pasuk says in Mishle that because of a neder that a person makes, he gets stopped as a bikoret. He starts checking his action. You know what a bikoret is? In Israel, right? When you're going, there's like a checkpoint. And in the checkpoint, they check who's in the car, who's not in the car, before you pass through. That's called a bikoret. So the same thing, which means after a person makes a neder, boom, they start doing bikorets on him. They start looking into him. Is it good? Not good. Now, Rabbi Yanai came and he opened up the petach for his grandson when he said that they're going to start checking into his actions. Anan lo patchinan lebeha. We don't do such a thing like that. But we don't open up. We don't make such a petach in order that he should be mitztaer or things like that. So says the Gemara, velo patchina bada achraneta. And we also don't open up in another way, just like Rabbi Gamliel says. Says my patach Gamliel Saba. What Rabbi Yochanan open up for that Saba? The pasuk yesh bote kemadkerot charev ulushon chachamim marpeh. What does this mean exactly? There's a person that's going to be that starts fighting with people. Right? They start, a quarrel. They start arguing until it could even come to shfichut damim. But the lashon chachamim always brings shalom ben adam lechavero, and therefore it's always going to be marpeh. It's always going to make like a refuah of the nezek, right, of that which was caused because of the sichsuch. Meaning there's a fight or whatever, and the lashon chachamim is going to come and it's going to calm them down. Okay, so he says yesh boteh kemadkerot charev ulshon chachamim. What does that mean? Kol haboteh. Anybody that comes and it's a bitui. Bitui is something that comes out of your mouth. Anybody that comes and takes out a neder from his mouth, ra'ui ledokro becharev. It's fitting to stab him with a sword. Yeah, you're allowed to be Moroccan. Yeah. What does that mean? Ella lashon chachamim marpeh. Right, but the lashon chachamim is marpeh. What does that mean? Right. So he comes and he says, lashon chachamim, in order to save yourself, don't make vows. So therefore here, what basically he comes and he says is, right, you see from here the entire concept, right, that when it says here, Lashon Chachamim Peh, so therefore you see that Rabbi Yochanan, right, says that we're not going to open up a petach just like this guy, just like Rabbi Gamliel opened up a petach. Right, just like Rabbi Gamliel. What did Rabbi Gamliel open up? He went and he said, look what's happening. So says the Gemara, Velo patchinan behada achrenata. We're also not going to open up in another way also. Remember, opening up a petach means that when you made the neder, we're going to try to open up an opening that maybe you wouldn't have made the neder. That's called opening up a petach. You're opening up an entrance to get out of the neder. So he's saying we don't do that. The Tanya, as we learned in the Braita, Rabbi Natan Omer. Rabbi Natan says, Hanoder ki'ilu bana bama. If you make a neder, it's ki'ilu that you built a bama. V'mekayemo. Right? Remember, this is during the time of the Bet HaMikdash. you're not allowed to make a bama. What's a bama? A private barbecue. Right? A private barbecue. Right? We called it a private barbecue. What does that mean? You're bringing korbanot. So in the olden days, before the Bet HaMikdash, people would make their own bama. A bama was like their own altar, their own mizbeach in the backyard. So it was like a private barbecue, and that's why you would do a korban. Once the Bet HaMikdash was kayam, let's say you're not allowed to do a private barbecue. There was no more the bamot mutar. You have to go to the Bet HaMikdash in order to bring a korban. So he says over here, hanoder kilu bana bama. If you make a neder, it's kilu that you build a bama. And if you're going to be mekayem the neder, kilu makriv alav korban. It's kilu that you brought, right? Korban on that, which is shchutei chutz, right? That's like you slaughtered an animal outside of Bet HaMikdash, and you need to bring a korban. Pereisha patchina. At the beginning of the Braita, it says anoder. It's like a bama, which is mashma, right? That we open up in order to open up a neder. The seifa bayamar patchinan, right? In the seifa, though, also we say, because we're not going to come and to say that we're not going to suspect that maybe he's going to be embarrassed and he's going to lie. Rava comes in, he says, no, lo patchina. We do not open up with that because we're going to suspect, because since it's such a bad avirah, maybe he's going to come and he's going to say, you know what, because it's a chayav karet. If somebody brings a korban outside of Bet HaMikdash, it's karet. So because of that, he says maybe he's going to be embarrassed and he's going to say that really bemet he's not mitcharet. Meaning the only reason why he's going to say it is but he doesn't want to be mitcharet. He doesn't want to feel remorse. Remember, to get out of a neder, you have to have remorse. You have to have charata. Now maybe bemet he doesn't have charata, but the only reason why he's saying it is because what? He's going to be chayav karet. What? He just made a bama when he made a neder. And now if he's going to fulfill the neder, so therefore he's going to say, no, I need mitcharet. It really wasn't mitcharet? No. Why did he do it? Yeah, but that's what we're saying.
Neder in itself is not a sure.
Yeah, that's like. Rav Kahana matni la lahashmata behadil nishna. So Rav Kahana came and he learned this shmua in this lashon. Rav Tivyumi matni achi. Right? Rav Tivyumi came and he learned like this. Beseifa lo patchinan. In the end of the Braita, right, which we just said that if a person comes and makes a neder, and then he actually fulfills the neder, that it's like he did shchutei chutz, everybody agrees that we're not going to open up the neder. Right? Why? Because the chumrat avera, maybe it could be that they're going to be embarrassed and they're going to lie. And they're not going to really feel remorse. They're not going to regret it. But in the Reisha, Abaye says that we do open it up. And Rava says that we don't open up. What is halacha? We're not going to open up, not in the Reisha and not in the Seifa. So says the Gemara, are you going to tell me now also the Mamar, right, that also Shmuel, right, that we're not going to come and open up in the Neder? Shmuel comes and he says, right, even though we're not going to open it up, right, with this petach, he's still going to be considered a rasha. What does that mean? Right? Because it says over here, we're going to suspect that any person that makes a neder, he's going to be embarrassed, and therefore he's going to be called a rasha. So he comes and he says, Amar bi'avu, says what's a pasuk? What does that mean? When you stop making a neder, there won't be sins. So by the Rishaim, right? So we see from here that the kesher, there's a connection between a noder and a rasha. Because it could be that really the one that made the neder, he doesn't really feel remorse. He doesn't regret it. But he's going to tell you, yeah, I regret it. He doesn't regret it. How do you know? Right? No, that's the problem. That's why it's a sakanah. That's what he's saying. He's calling them Rishaim. So Amar of Yosef says of Yosef, we also learned in the Mishnah, Kenidrek sherim lo makrum. If a person comes and he makes a neder of nezirut or korban l'shava, and he says like the neder of the kshrim, he didn't say anything. Why is it not chal? Because the ksherim do not do nedarim. Right? So therefore, that's why there's no such thing as kenidrek ksherim. A person comes and he says, I'm going to make a neder like the kosher people make nedarim. It's not a good neder. It's not a neder. Why? Because kosher people don't do nedarim. Right? It doesn't happen. Kenidre reshaim, nadar benazir u'korban. So then if he says kenidre reshaim, right, that's like a nadar benazir u'korban meshuvua. It is going to be chal. Why? Because the reshaim, they come and they do it. What does that mean? They start making all these nedarim, which means that you see from here that the reshaim do a lot of nedarim, and the ksherim they do not do nedarim. Amar Shmuel bar Nachmani, the name of Yonatan, kol hakoes, kol mine ginam shultim bo. A person that comes and he gets angry, all the ginam, right, is shultim bo.
What about the fact that he said?
Why are you talking about this here?
Think about it. Yes. The gorema ikari to make a neder is ka'as. A person gets upset, all of a sudden, I'm never going to do this. Oh, I'm not going to do that. Oh, you think about it? Go this, that, all these neder. Why? Ka'as. You heard what we said last night in the name of Shalom Zamin Orbach. Right? He comes and he said that he went and he said to his wife, you should know in the Cheder Yichud. Listen to this. In the Cheder Yichud. He comes and he tells his wife, you should know that I have a tendency to get angry. And therefore, I'm already accepting upon myself now in the Cheder Yichud, right, in the Yichud room, by the wedding, that any fight that we have for the first 10 years, you're right. And I'm wrong. Why? Because I have a tendency to get angry. He said the first 10 years of his life was the hardest. The hardest years of his life. Exactly. Right? The hardest years of his life. He said, why? But it's the best years of his life. Because we're here to work upon ourselves. We're here to become better. You understand? Very important. So here it says, anybody that gets angry, all the geinam come, and they are sholet bo. It's a pasuk. The pasuk says, "Ve'aser ka'as milibecha, ve'aver ra'a mibesarecha." Right? Ve'en ra'a ela geinam. If a person removes ka'as from your heart, you will remove ra'a mibesarecha. You will remove bad from your. It says, "En ra'a ela geinam." Shneimar says in the pasuk, "Kol pa'al Hashem lema'aneu, ve'gam rasha yom ra," which means everything, all the actions are going to praise HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and even a rasha, right, that he's doing it yom ra'ah for the bad day. What be below? Then not only that, he's going to have tchurim. Tchurim is hemorrhoids, right? For a person that comes and he gets angry. Shneimar says in the pasuk, "V'natan Hashem lecha sham lev ragaz v'chilyon enayim v'da'avon nafesh." Is in the Vanim. In Parashat Kitavo, there it's written that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to give in the Galut to a person that's a ka'asan. He's going to give him lev ragaz v'chilyon enayim, which means that he's all, he's not going to, and he's going to have daga, worried. It's of depression. What is it? Something that takes away from the eyes and is going to make a person worried. It's tachtoniot. Why? Because it's a machala which goes on for a very long time. So since it's a machala that goes for such a long time, so therefore, right, hemorrhoids, right? So therefore, therefore because of that, he's mitzamet and mitzapeh. He's always looking forward with his eyes. When is he going to become cured? So that's why it's mechale enayim. Okay, so says the Gemara, Ula, right? Ula b'meskel arad Israel, when he went up, right? Asuke, right? A good asak, right? He goes up. So when he comes up from Bavel to Eretz Yisrael, itlavu letrem b'nei Chozai b'adeh. So there were two Jews that came from the city of Chozah, but they came with him. Kam chad shachte lechavre. One of them came, got upset at his friend, and he did shechita. Yeah, he did shechita. So Elmaleh comes, Elmaleh le'ula. So the Rotzeach tells Ula, Yahut avdi, did I do good? Yeah, he went, he killed the guy, he killed the other friend. He goes, did I do good? Elmaleh, he says, yes. Upara lebet hashchita. Right? You have to come and you have to open up the bet hashchita so that way he dies quickly. Yeah? So, because basically he slaughtered him, but the guy was dying a slow death. So now he comes and he asks the rabbi, he tells him, by the way, did I do good? He says, yes, but make sure you reveal the opening so he dies quicker. But he didn't tell him to die quicker, just says, make sure you reveal the opening. Yeah? So what happened? Right? It says over here, now here it says that he did it, he was afraid. He was afraid of that, because if he's going to now come and tell him, you did wrong, what's he going to do? He's next on the shchita. So then why did he come and tell him, reveal the bet shchita? So that way the air, remember that the second that the air comes in, he dies much quicker. Right? So therefore that's exactly what he did. Right? He went and he said, but you have to make sure that, because if the neck is still connected, he's going to die slowly but slowly, because they're still connected. But once he comes and reveals it, so he's going to die quicker. So when Ula came in front of Rabbi Yochanan, he told him the story. And he said, maybe chas shalom, I was helping a person do an avera. Meaning if somebody already comes and they do an avera, I'm not allowed to be machzik laim. I cannot tell them, do it and that's it. You cannot do that. Elmaleh says, he tells Rabbi Yochanan the opposite. He says, Nafshecha hitzalta. He says, you saved yourself. That means you did good. Why? You saved. What do you want to do? Why? You wanted him to kill you as well. So Katamar Rabbi Yochanan. So Rabbi Yochanan comes and he says, but one second, what's going on here? The Ritzicha happened in Eretz Yisrael. Michdi Ktiv, it's written, and Natan Shem Lecha Sham Lev Ragaz. Bevavel Ktiv, that's written in Bavel. That's in Galut, that's not in Eretz Yisrael. Elmaleh, he told him, Ahushat, at that moment, Lo Avrinan Yardena. We were still outside of Eretz Yisrael. We didn't pass the Jordan River. So for since because of that, it was still outside of Eretz Yisrael. That's why it happened. Because there's more kas, meaning a person gets angrier outside right, of Israel. Right? And because of that, he says that's why. So therefore, if a person comes to Eretz Yisrael, right, all of a sudden he's more calm. Okay, next. Amar Rabba Baravuna. Says Rabba Baravuna. Yeah, he comes and he says, Amar Rabba Baravuna. Amar Rabba Baravuna, says Rabba Baravuna, Kol HaKoes, anybody that gets angry, Afilu Shechina ina chashuva kenegdo. Even the Shechina is not important then. Shneimar, it says in a pasuk, Rasha kegova apo balidrosh. Rasha, when he gets angry, he's not even going to ask. He's balidrosh. He's not going to be doresh his masim. And Elohim kom zivotav. Hakadosh Baruch Hu is not important to him at all, which means he doesn't think about Hakadosh Baruch Hu. He also forgets his learning and he adds foolishness. There's a kas is going to be in the chek, in the bosom of the ksilim of the fools. And it's written, right? Sorry. And the ksil is going to be pores bifnei kulam et tipshuto. He's going to spread out in front of everybody his tipshut. Not only that, he's got more averot and mitzvot. Shneimar says in pasuk, Baal Chema Rav Pesha. The person that's a Baal Chema, that he's a person that he always gets angry. He's got a lot of pesha. Yeah. Amar of Ada Reb Chanina. It says of Ada Reb Chanina, right? Chatu Yisrael lo nitan lahem ela chamisha chumshet Torah veSefer Yoshua bilvad. What does that mean? Bnei Yisrael, when they sinned, it wasn't only given to them chamisha chumshet Torah and Sefer Yoshua, because all the Sifrei Nevi'im of the Tochacha and all that, right, was still not. They didn't still sin then. So therefore, Yoshua they needed, even if they wouldn't have sinned. Right? That means basically, Sefer Yoshua would have always been needed even if we didn't sin. The other one is only because we sinned. There is no rebuke. Right? She'erka shel Eretz Yisrael, because that's the erech of Eretz Yisrael. It means there it's mefurash, all the things of Eretz Yisrael. Maitama ki berov chokhmah rav kas. What does it mean? Because the ribui of the chokhmat and nevi'im, there's a siman that the kas that Bnei Yisrael went against HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Meaning the fact that you needed so many nevi'im afterwards to give us on the head, one after another, that just shows how much we were getting HaKadosh Baruch Hu angry. So Amar Rabbi Yasi says, Rabbi Yasi, Eni skakin elokei Yisrael. What does that mean? Lechatchila, we're not going to come, and if somebody comes and he swears, we're not going to pay attention to it. Chutz mikuna mishti nenetli. Except for the guy that comes and he makes a vow about his wife. Sheganvait kisi, right? That's because she stole my wallet, or she took money hidingly, or because iktad bini, or she hit my son, or vinoda shelo gavdan, and she found out that she didn't actually steal it, or she didn't actually hit, whatever it is. So in these two cases, we're going to be matir the shua lechatchila because there's two reasons. Number one, shalom bait, right? So therefore, it's going to cause the problems of shalom bait. And the Torah says you're allowed to erase the name of Hashem, right, by the sutah. So therefore, we're going to purposely do it. And also, it's a shavua of shigagot, because once he found out the real reason, so it wasn't bechavana. So because of that, you hear, that means because of shalom bait, we're going to be matir nedarim that usually we're not matir nedarim. But to do with shalom bait, we are going to be matir nedarim. Okay, somebody came in from Ravasi. Elmaleh, he told her, right? He katua, right? Elmaleh, he comes and he says, what was the shavua? Elokei Yisrael. Elmaleh, in adart b'mohi, if you would have come and you would have made a shavua b'mohi, mohi is a word, shehi kinui b'ham, which is like a kinui for a shavua, then I would have helped you. But now, hashtag now that you didn't do that, with the God of Israel, now I can't permit you. Rav Kahana equal the bed of Yosef. Rav Kahana went and he visited Rav Yosef. Elmaleh, he told him, come eat something. Elmaleh, no, I don't want. Mare kula lo teim nale. He says, what? Ba'adon hakol, you're not going to eat nothing. Elmaleh, lo, mare kula lo teitale. Right? Taim tale. No, ba'adon hakol, I'm not going to eat anything. So Anich Rav Kahana damar lo, mare kula. He comes, I understand Rav Kahana that he came and he said, no, mare kula, which means it's understood that he's saying, I'm not going to eat anything. Ba'adon hakol, that he wanted to say that he doesn't want to eat. But according to Rav Yosef, Amay amar lo Marekula. Why did he say no? Ba'adon hakol, which means what? He's trying to make a shavua. So he says no. Hachi kamar. This is what he told him. Lo marekula ude kamarta. It's not. What are you actually saying? It's lashon shavua. Hilkach lo taimtle. Because of that, I can't eat by you. Which means, right, that the second that you used it in a lashon of shavua, that you said marekula, which is like adon hakol. So therefore, once you did it that way, I cannot do it. Why? Because once you made like a shavua, I'm not going to eat anything from you. So Amar Rav Nachman says, what is halacha though? The halacha is that we do open up with charatot. We do come. It was machloket in the Gemara. Now we're saying halacha. Halacha is that we do open up the charata and we are niskakin belokei Yisrael. Mishtabach le Rava le Rav Nachman b'Rav Sechora. So Rava, he was coming in front of Rav Nachman and showing him on Sechora, Rav Sechora. So he says, Adam Gadolu, that he's a very big person. Amalo, he says, so imagine right now, I come and say, you know that rabbi, he's a very, very big person. Yeah, he's a very big person. So what happened? He comes and he said, okay, so when he's here, bring him to me. I want to see him. Havle nidra lemishra. So Sechora, he had a neder that he had to permit, right? Ata lekemed Rav Nachman. So he came in front of Rav Nachman. Amale, he says, Nadar tadaita dachi, did you really make the neder for that? Amale, he says, yes. Adaita dachi? Yes. Kama zimnin? A few times. So ikbad Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman was makpid on Rav Sechora. Amarle, he says, Zil lekalach, go to your house. So nafak Rav Sechora upatach pitcha lenoshe. So Sechora went out and he opened up a neder for himself. Rabbi Omer, ezu derech yishra she'evo lo adam. What is the path that a person should choose for himself? Kol shi tiferet lo seva, tiferet lo adam. So he says anything which is going to be good for himself and good for a human being. So therefore he says, V'hashtadik Rav Nachman. And now that Rav Nachman was makpid because of the neder, I didn't make the neder from that. Meaning the fact that the rabbi got upset at me because the rabbi was kept on trying to open up things. Would you have made the neder if you would have known that? Yes. Would you make that? Yes. Yeah. He was making all the petachs, nothing else. So he got upset at me. But now that the rabbi was upset at me, I didn't make a neder for that. Because now what? I always want to be a good person. So because of that, Shalom, so he permitted it to himself. Right? So says the Gemara, Rabbi Shimon Rabbi, Havale nidar lemisha. Rabbi Shimon Rabbi also had a neder to open up. They came in front of rabbis. Did you do it? A few times. So the rabbis, 23:1, the rabbis were suffering because they were going from the Chama to the Tzel to Chama. Remember, the day passes, right? The shade and everything switches. So going one to, right? So what happened? Amaleh Botnit bered Abba Shaul b'Motnit. Says Botnit, the son of Abba Shaul, the son of Botnit. In the that what? Did you ever make a neder in order to make the rabbi suffer? Did they have to go from the shade to the sun to the shade, sun to... He said no. So then they went to this. Basically, what?